Back to Jekyll and Hyde territory now. The Cowboys only seem to win at home, and Chris Warren gave them the lead at home after he replaced an injured Emmitt Smith. Troy Aikman hit David LaFleur in the third quarter. That increased the Dallas lead to 20-3. Philadelphia starter Donovan McNabb went out injured, but replacement Doug Peterson hit Nay Brown for a touchdown, but that just wasn't enough. Dallas go on to win 20-10. Chris Warren gaining 92 yards, replacing Emmitt Smith. The Cowboys also lost Greg Ellis for the season, and Kevin Mathis also got hurt for Dallas. The Rams are rolling toward home field advantage in the playoffs. Kurt Warner to Roland Williams put them in position to score. That looks just like arena football. Warner that found Robert Holcomb, and that duly gave the Rams a 7-3 lead. Can you be any more alone than Robert Holcomb? But Billy Joe Tolliver hit Cam Cleland to put the Saints in the lead 14-7. It was short-lived. Marshall Faulk's 4-yard run gave the Rams a 3-point lead. And then Kurt Warner hit Faulk for a 30-yard touchdown to put the Rams up 24-14 at halftime. They hung on to win the game 30-14. Faulk had yet another big day on the ground. Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce both went over 100 yards receiving. It wasn't quite the battle for the playoffs it looked to be at season start, but the Niners got on top of the visiting Falcons on Charlie Garner's touchdown run late in the first quarter. Fred Beasley made it 14-0 on a 2-yard run, and then when Bryant Young sacked Chris Chandler in the end zone for a safety, the score was 16-0 Niners. They led 19-0 at the half. Atlanta finally scored on Winslow Oliver's 56-yard punt return in the third quarter. This was about all the offense the Falcons could muster. But Beasley got his second touchdown of the game. The 49ers went on to win 26-7 behind the running of Charlie Garner. His 107 yards on the ground put him over 1,000 for the year. Jeff Garcia threw no interceptions but left the game with a suspected concussion. In San Francisco, when it rains, it pours. And in the NFC East, Washington's win over Arizona has put them on top by a game over the Giants in Dallas, who both won to keep pace with them. In the Central, Tampa Bay won, Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota all lost, and the Chicago Bears had the bye week. And in the West, St. Louis running away there, but the Carolina Panthers beating Green Bay in Green Bay kept their wild card hopes alive. And so, if the playoffs were to begin today, it'd be really strange, but Washington, Tampa Bay, and St. Louis would be the division champions. Detroit, Green Bay, and the Giants would be in as the wild cards, but Green Bay, the Giants, Minnesota, and Dallas are all at 7-6. Arizona and Carolina only one game behind them at 6-7.
It'd have been strange, and I'd have worn a smarter shirt. Now,
couldn't have worn one much less.
Exactly. Smart. There you go. It's all about yeah, exactly. I was just the contrast is all. I'm looking at Dallas and San Francisco there, and are we looking at a couple of wins for old time's sake or something?
Well, the Cowboys have been, like the Jets, have been Jekyll and Hyde all season. Yeah. They've only won one game on the road. That was the first one of the season when Washington basically handed them the win. They should have lost. And so they've been tough at home, but, you know, nothing on the road. As far as San Francisco is concerned, yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's the last hurrah of the Golden Horde there.
It does feel, I mean, even when you look around the entire conference, it feels a bit like that. I mean, except obviously Washington, I mean, they're sitting at the top of their division, but is that a convincing
No, not
position?
at all, because, like I said in the highlights, their defense comes on the field and they give up points automatically. So, you know, they kept possession in that game, and that was the key to that for them. They can score bunches of points, but they will give up bunches as well. Tampa's the team that, you know, we've seen, we did them last week, they played on Sunday, and Sean King is a breath of fresh air for this team, and they've taken him very carefully, two games in a row. They've played him very conservatively in the first half and then let him come on as the game goes goes on, and he just doesn't rattle. He's been nice, and he does things that Trent Dilfer just doesn't seem to be able to do, and that's going to make a whole big change for the Bucs. Now, if the receivers would just hang on to the ball, they'd have an offense. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if he's the rising star that kind of rises through from this point forward.
He reminds me of Charlie Batch for Detroit last year. And one of the things they did was throw a lot to backs coming out of the backfield and take advantage of Detroit's rush by doing a lot of screens. And they work a perfect screen for Allstott's touchdown in the fourth quarter. Watch the center, Tony Mabry, and Frank Middleton, the right guard, who are both going to pretend to pass block and do a great job of letting the guys pass them and then getting out here in the flat to set up. And watch Luther Ellis, the tackle over here, because he's going to do a great job of pursuing, although he doesn't actually get there in the end. So now the key is to making it look like you're pass blocking. And now they just see them getting into position now, and Allstott stops to see where the blocking's developing, and that gives Mayberry time to get in front of him. Luther Ellis just misses Allstott from behind there, and Mayberry's block is just enough for Allstott's momentum to carry him into the end zone. And you can't run a screen very much better than that.
Yes, very true. Now, is there a team in there that we've looked at there that can beat St. Louis? I mean, is there a stumbling block there for them on the way through?
Well, Tampa can beat anybody because their defense can shut almost anybody down. Minnesota's got the offense to get ahead of them, and that pretty much does it, I think, in the NFC. Those are the two big threats.
Yeah, that's the way it looks like it could go. Okay, we've got ourselves a little stormer coming up for our game of the week, have we not?
Yeah, and it looked a lot better at the beginning of the season than it does now, but it's still a good matchup. Denver and Jacksonville. Now, these teams have played 4 times in history, but they've never played in Jacksonville before because of the schedule or the playoffs. So it'll be the first time Denver goes to Florida. And they've been an improved team since they found Olandis Gary to take Terrell Davis's place. And the interesting thing about Gary is that, like Davis, he comes from Georgia. And he was an unheralded running back coming out of the University of Georgia. But he's got a good burst, a lot of desire. He runs a lot like Terrell Davis does. And, you know, he's almost carried their offense for a few weeks. Brian Greasy's back at quarterback because Chris Miller's concussion probably means that his career's finished again. But with Gary running the ball, they can start to do some of the things that they used to do.
Yeah, obviously, this is the thing with it. I mean, Jacksonville obviously is a genuinely formidable outfit, if we're talking in these terms, aren't they?
Yeah, and defensively, Jacksonville is just so tough. They'll put a lot of pressure on Denver. Dom Capers' defense lets some of those great athletes they've got play to their best in that system. And Tony Brackens, Kevin Hardy, Carnell Lake are just playing out of their heads.
Absolutely. Well, just let's reiterate the information for you. Let's show you exactly what we're going to be bringing you. NFL Game of the Week for you. That is tomorrow night. We're on air nice and early. God bless that time. That's what I say. That's 20 to 1 where I come from, isn't it? That is Denver at Jacksonville. That is going to be our game for you. Okie dokie. So we're looking forward to seeing that one for you as well. And, of course, live NHL hockey, as we mentioned a little bit earlier on. That will be on Wednesday night. That is Rangers and the LA Kings.
You like that hockey, don't you?
I love a bit of hockey. I love a bit of football. Good night.